Alright, welcome back to another tutorial for your Youth for Christ Salesforce Solutions. In this tutorial, we're going to walk through how to configure BCC to Salesforce. What this is going to allow you to do is, from your email, all you'll be able to do is compose an email, add this BCC address. It'll be a long, kind of crazy email address, but it's per user, per Salesforce organization. So you do have to set this up per user. It's not company-wide setup. What you can do is when you send an email to BCC, say I was going to send an email here to Diane at yfc.net, I would add this BCC to Salesforce, so blind carbon copy, type in whatever email I'd like, and then that will save right into their contact record within Salesforce. So I'm going to go back here to our Salesforce, so go ahead and log into your Salesforce instance. Next, what you're going to want to do is click on your name up in the top right hand corner. Click on My Settings. Then as you log in, you might get a little pop-up box about updates, things like that. You can feel free to close those out. Salesforce does push out necessary updates. There's some optional updates that you can view if you like. Click on Email. And then if you click on email and there's no My Email to Salesforce here, you're actually going to have to turn on that setting. So I'm going to show you how to turn on that setting. For most of you, this should be enabled already, so you'll see another option say My Email to Salesforce. But for those that don't see that, first what you're going to want to do is click the Setup menu, and then go ahead and type in Communication Preferences. I'm sorry, it's not under Communication Preferences. It's actually Email to Salesforce. So under Email Administration. So if you just type in email in the search box, then Email to Salesforce. So what you're going to have to do is activate it. So go ahead, Edit. You can activate. There's additional security settings you can go ahead and do that, but I recommend not enabling those security settings right away. Go ahead and hit Save. And then this will send out to all your users. So it's kind of a nice interface if you want to notify all the people within your organization that they can set this up by themselves. So I'm going to skip this step for us. So email to Salesforce has been enabled. So once again, let's go back to the home page just to start over. Click on your name, go to My Settings, now click on Email, and now you'll see this additional option that says My Email to Salesforce. So after you click that, what you're going to do is see a long email address. So this is the same one as this right here, but all you're going to have to do is copy this and create a contact within your whatever email server you use, whether it's Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo or whatever it might be. You're going to copy this as a contact and do that. I'll walk through that process, but before you do that, go ahead and check your settings. So there's also something called unresolved items. So if you set up this and you sent it to an email address that doesn't exist in your Salesforce, what it's going to do is go into this unresolved items hopper and then allow you to map it to whatever email you may want. The way Salesforce does this, it looks at the email you sent it to, and then it's going to look in Salesforce and compare and contrast to see if that's in there. So for a lot of the Youth for Christ chapters, you guys are not using leads, just using contacts. Contacts are the same thing as an individual. So there's a few different rules apply. So if there's duplicate records, you can do the record with the most activity, all records, oldest record. If no matching record, you can create a task in your unresolved items. There's some of the rules. If you want to save attachments as well, so you can auto-save attachments, just to note, you do have a file size limit in Salesforce. But you can click that and that'll save attachments for there as well as you can get email confirmation that the association actually worked. This is nice to keep on in the beginning, but you can always come back here and change that and save that setting. So we're going to go ahead and save. So you get congratulations, your settings have been saved. Next, what we're going to want to do is just right click on here, copy email address, and then we're going to want to go back to our email service, so whatever it is, we use Gmail, but whether it's Outlook, and you're just going to want to create a contact. So Gmail, you go here. I think in Outlook, you go down to the bottom. Hopefully you know how to do this in your email service. So contacts, I'm just going to create a new contact. I'm going to name it Salesforce. This is for wives, you know, because this is a developer org that we're using. But whatever's going to be, whatever you're going to remember. Looks like that email didn't copy over, so I'm going to go back. You may need to highlight it. Copy. There we go. Now we're able to paste it. And you can see that. So whatever name you want to give it is just what you're going to remember when you can type it in for the BCC. Typically, I just recommend putting Salesforce or whatever you're going to remember there again. One thing good to note, if you're copying this in Outlook, sometimes Outlook likes to add this little mail to and then the colon. What you're going to want to do is delete that out. So your email is just the email to Salesforce at, and then this is the custom URL, custom username for them, for your Salesforce organization as well as your username. So I got that there. This Google automatically saves, but if you're in Outlook, you probably have to go ahead and save it. So why don't we go ahead and run a test here quick. So I'll go back to my mail, and let's do that email that I was just doing. So I'm going to send this to Diane. I'm going to BCC her to Salesforce. There we go. There's the one I just saved. Obviously, I've got a lot of Salesforce addresses. So test log into Salesforce. Just a test. Please disregard. I don't think she knows that I'm sending this to her right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And then I'm going to go back into our Salesforce. Go to the home page. Because I already had Diane here, I'm going to go ahead and open up her contact record, her individual record in Salesforce. Now if I scroll down, I should be able to see the active history. Looks like it hasn't logged quite yet. We will get a confirmation whether it's been logged or not. So if it is logged, what you're going to see under the active history or open activities is that email. So let's go ahead. Maybe it got caught in our unresolved items somehow. So if you go back to your home page, on the shortcut, you'll see My Unresolved Items. So items to resolve. My email to Salesforce. Looks like it just hasn't went through quite yet. Sometimes there's a lag. Sometimes it's not totally immediate. So let's see here. So for some reason, mine errored out. Oh. Sorry. So the reason why I got this error is if we go back, so our developer org is set up actually under another user. So if I go to my email for Salesforce settings, I see the acceptable email addresses are Jordan. So I can change that to Matt. Go ahead and hit save. So because I'm sending it from my email, Jordan's another employee here at Fostering LLC, and it was the wrong person. So there's a free little troubleshooting. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Diane, BCC to Salesforce. There's the one that we wanted. Test number 2. Just another test. Oh, let's send that. Now we shouldn't have an error. So I'll go back into Salesforce. I'll look at Diane's record again. And then if we scroll down, let's go ahead and refresh. Like I said, sometimes this does take a minute or two to go ahead and activate and or show up. Now let's check on resolved items again. Looks like it hasn't come in there, so maybe it's still thinking for us. Sometimes the first time it takes a little while for it to go ahead and update here. Let's check Diane's record. And it's good to verify So the email that I did send to Diane, that was correct. That's her main email address, so should go ahead and map here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it just took a little minute to log. So under active history, email, test 2, you can see that it came from my username, and I'll date stamp it. So we got that task logged. You can go ahead and click on the subject to see what it was. Just another test. Put all my signature information here as well. But really just a nice way to log some of those, some of that information. If you're corresponding with a donor, or if you are, talking to someone where you just want to log that activity into Salesforce, great way to do it is using that BCC to Salesforce. So hopefully that makes some sense. We were able to troubleshoot a few different issues there. But once again, just as a recap, when you log in, click on your name, go to My Settings, Email, My Email to Salesforce. It'll give you this long email address. What you'll do is go ahead and select it, copy it, go into your email service, create a new contact record, and then any email that you want to go into Salesforce, you're going to BCC this long address into Salesforce. Double check your settings like I had to, and you'll be able to log activity. Another good note, say you're not sending an email for a BCC, but you got an email that you want to make sure that you log. We'll go ahead and do another one. Me and Diane have been talking, let's see here. So Salesforce mailing list. There's an email from Diane. That's the primary. I can actually forward this to Salesforce. So if you forward that email, it'll map on that email that was there. So I'll go ahead and send that. So if it's already in your inbox, it's not something that you're new creating. That's also a good note to know. There was multiple email addresses on there, so we might get a little bit of hiccup. Go ahead and diagnose that while we're on the video here. Like I said, it does sometimes take a few minutes to log. It hasn't logged, so again, I can check my unresolved items. If you're doing this a lot, you will see this. So basically what it's going to say is the subject of the email, the date, who it's from, and then it'll say, who do you want to assign this to? It'll give some recommendations as to, some names that are close, and I'll put that there. Let's go back to Diane one more time. Oh, there we go. So it did work. So I went ahead and forwarded that Salesforce mailing list. There's that email string that we've been going back and forth, and that's saved in there as well. So you can forward emails as well as when you're creating emails into that BCC to Salesforce, and it'll log it automatically. So hopefully this helps enhance your Salesforce use and make things a little bit easier. There are many other options for emails to Salesforce integration. This is the lightest and the most free. So if you go out to your YFC training page, or you go to salesforce.yfc, if you click on news and information, I believe that's where, chapter implementation, there's documents, chapter implementation documents, and then we do have email integration options. So here's a white paper. There are different free and paid options within this page. Feel free to go ahead and take a look. The one we explained is the email to Salesforce #1, but you can look at Salesforce for Outlook, which is #2. Cirrus Insight, that's actually what I use. So that sidebar that you see on my Gmail, that is a paid option. There is a discount for nonprofits, but you would have to do that through them. So once again, hopefully all this helps and gets you started with logging emails into Salesforce.